Lionel Messi, well, regarded today as one of the best soccer players in the world, maybe of all time. It's a matter of debate. But the other day, he took the World Cup, uh, and the world was in frenzy. I mean, there's something about him that just speaks to the heart, that is lovable. He's loved by millions and millions all over the world, and I was swept away. So I decided I wanted to look at his chart, and it's a fascinating birth chart and really explains a lot. Messi has his sun in Cancer, and the birth chart is such a complex thing, and there's just so much to look at. But the moment you see sun in Cancer, that explains a lot because, I mean, it explains this lovability and the fact that he comes across as quiet, maybe shy, an introvert, and he really is a family person, and so it's easy to love him. Archetypes of Cancer are the great mother, and the gender doesn't matter because what the meaning is a person who likes to nurture, who's ruled by the heart. Cancer's ruler is the moon, and the moon is your heart. So Cancer people are very natural at taking care of others, at being sensitive to the other. Another archetype of Cancer can be the invisible one, meaning that Cancer is so introverted that it might just, stand aside and be afraid of putting themselves out there. Messi found a way by being a soccer player to really put himself out there. But, when he's outside the field, he doesn't behave like, a superstar. He's not at all megalomaniac, and he is approachable. That son of his is in the fifth house, along with the moon and Venus, right? So the fifth house, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The fifth house is about playfulness. It's about joy. It's about really being in the moment like a child. So in order to be good at something that's so difficult like soccer, and with all that pressure where millions and millions of people are watching you, all over the world, you have to be in the moment really and be concentrated about what's happening now. You're not going to think about anything else if you're going to be successful at it. So, and the fifth house is also the house of children. Messi and his wife have been together for a long time, and he claims that she's the most important person to him in the world. She means everything to him and his kids as well. So they have 3 kids, and they want to have another one, so that's the Cancer, the family guy. So let's continue to the moon, because that's what I do is I look at the primal triad, which is the sun, moon, and the ascendant. Those are the 3 points that you look at when you're just starting to unravel the birth chart. So that moon and Venus, they're in Gemini. And that is very interesting because Gemini is about verbal exchange. It's about communication. It's also a sign that's really open-minded. It wants to learn. It wants to take in information. And and that to me indicates that, again, there's something friendly and kind of maybe humble isn't the right word, but not dogmatic, and he's not imposing. And Gemini, it's like Gemini needs to experience many different things and needs to pack in, as it were, 3 lifetimes into one. And there's a lot of movement. Gemini is like endlessly and constantly on the move. So it doesn't that, you're playing soccer, you're moving. And the fifth house, with its kind of childlike connotation, not the fifth house people cannot be mature and, serious and deep artists, but it's there's that energy. There's lots of energy. Like the battery never runs out, but sometimes it does, and you reach a point of exhaustion where you just have to calm down and take a nap. Okay, let's move on to the ascendant and the rising sign, which we see is Aquarius. So the ascendant has to do with your style, with the impression that you make on people that don't necessarily know you, in an intimate way. It's your interface kind of with the world. And with Aquarius rising, Aquarius is the sign of the genius, the innovator. So, and also the humanitarian. So again, we're being reinforced by these themes of there's something human. And also, I would say that Aquarius can be a little bit distant and look at things kind of from the outside without a lot of emotional involvement. Maybe that can help a soccer player on that level to assess the situation from the side, and then know what to do. Aquarius is also is an air sign. It's ruled by Uranus, and Uranus really is about doing what's unprecedented. And I want to look at two more elements that are very important in this birth chart. I'm not going to cover everything that I'm going to do in the next video. I'm going to go into the karma of Messi. You know, we all have karma that we came into this world to resolve and to get over, to move forward and have something new emerge in our lives. But I'll go into that in the next video. Let's look at that Sagittarius, right? That Saturn conjunct Uranus in Sagittarius and in the 11th house. So Saturn has to do with self-discipline and hard work and forging through difficulties. You know, obviously you have to work hard when you're going to be such a successful athlete, and you have to have a regime and really take it seriously and commit to it. And then Uranus, I talked about, has to do with that, just actually breaking free of constricting notions of the way things have always been done. So 11th house has to do with the collective, with how we connect with larger groups of people. And so obviously that's what Messi does. He does that with the energies that keep him going within those larger groups, which is his team players and all his fans around the world, has to do with hard work, discipline, you know, being respected and honored for your accomplishments, and that, you know, and that freedom to really be yourself. And your Uranus has to do with the process of individuation. So both of them are combined. And the 11th house has to do with strategy, with looking at the long term and planning, you know, planning ahead. It's about the future. So you need stamina to keep going. I mean, in this field, I think, because, you know, you lose a lot, you win, and you lose. It's unpredictable, and you gotta be strong on the inside. You got to be mature. That's Saturn. Saturn is about maturity. You have to learn to deal with the losses as well as with the victories. Okay, so before I wrap this up, I want to look at another point that's kind of going to take us back to my initial question, which was what makes Messi so loved and approachable and admired. And of course, first and foremost, it's the fact that he's a great soccer player, you know. But we have that Moon Venus conjunction over there in Gemini, so that you can say he's a Venusian person as well. And Venus is the goddess of love and the arts, but it's how we form loving relationships with people. So that's very strong in him. It's very soft. It's very it's just pleasant. There's something pleasant about it. But if you like this content, please subscribe and leave your comments below if you have any insights, any more thoughts to share about Messi's chart. And I'm planning to put out another video about him, his karmic story. So that's going to be fascinating. Thank you.